Professor Javorcik, we are here in Athens for Athens Democracy Forum, and for us at CNN Greece, it's a great opportunity to have a discussion with you regarding global outlook, global economic outlook, but also the prospects of Greece. So I'd like to start our discussion, today's discussion, with the fact that we see a huge turmoil globally. Middle East is in flames. Ukraine is still under turmoil. The U.S. elections are around the corner and a huge global milestone. So given all these circumstances, these peculiar circumstances, what is your outlook, and of course your organization's outlook regarding the global economy in 2025?
Well, these are very challenging and turbulent times of great uncertainty. In Europe, we are still feeling the fallout from the war in Ukraine in the form of high energy prices, weak performance of the Eurozone, and high borrowing costs in Eastern Europe. There is a danger that if the conflict in the Middle East escalates further, we are going to see much higher price of oil, and this, of course, would reignite inflation.
With that in mind, in your recent report, you downgraded growth forecast for 2024. What brought you to this decision, and in what ways is that interlinked with the global situation we just discussed?
Well, we have trimmed our forecast for this year and next year, and that was due to three factors. Of course, the war in Ukraine is a very important factor for our regions. The weakness of the Eurozone means lower demand for exports. Second, inflation is still with us. We saw a very fast disinflationary process, but interest rates remain still elevated, and that's putting brakes on the economy. And finally, extreme weather events. We saw drought in Morocco and Tunisia, and extremely cold weather in Mongolia, and that's contributing to weaker performance of these economies.
I would like to stick to that last statement regarding the weather events and shift towards the discussion about a green transition. And in relevance to Greece, we had an interview at CNN Greece a few months ago, and you said that it's absolutely necessary to continue with green transition in our country. I would like to ask you, given the circumstances and given what has changed in between, both in Europe and globally, do you still back that statement? And what are the challenges that have arisen in the meantime?
Climate change is the biggest challenge of our times, so we have no choice but to continue with green transition. And actually, 3/4 of people in Greece whom we surveyed believe that climate change is real and they are concerned about it. But of course, three things have changed in the global environment. First, I think we haven't done a good enough job convincing people that the structural changes that are needed in the economy that will necessitate them changing employment, that we will help them through the process, that governments will be there accompanying this transition at the individual level. Second, there is a danger that geopolitical tensions will restrict Europe's access to critical raw materials that are needed for green transition. And finally, government budgets are stretched. The need for defense spending is putting pressure on them at the time when massive investments are needed for green transition.
And for our last question, I'd like to stick to Greece and ask you regarding the economic outlook, but also the chance to regain competitiveness. And during our last interview, you stated that there is a window of opportunity for Greece in order to achieve that, be more competitive, attract FDIs. So I would like to ask you, given the circumstances, is the window still open? And what must Greece do in order to enhance its growth despite the challenges that have arisen?
Well, the window is still open, and it is a now or never moment for Greece. So lots of good things have happened. Greece has regained investment grade status. Greece is growing faster than the Eurozone. Investor sentiment is better. But a lot needs to be done. And the good thing is that the government has a public mandate to conduct structural reforms, and money is available. There's a lot of EU funding that's available. So now it's up to the country to take advantage of these positive development of this window of opportunity to put Greek economy on an upward trajectory.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.